Here we go with the pregame show right before the final night of block competition in G1 Climax 32. I'm Kevin Kelly, proud to be with not just Chris Charlton, but also B-block competitor, had a fantastic tournament, Chase Owens. It's okay. It's okay.
I've got
You're
you
safe.
between us.
You're safe
Yeah.
for now.
I know, everything's cool. Everything is cool, right?
Right.
Okay.
We're professional here.
Chase is going to be with Chris and I all night long as we call all the matches tonight, as we settle things, and will determine, well, possibly, who the four semifinalists are that will compete tomorrow. And then on Thursday, that's the finals of G1 Climax 32. So all three events will start at the exact same time. So make sure you're locked in because we'll have live English commentary coverage of the big events. Okay, give me your feel of the tournament as a whole. It feels different to me, but here we are, and it kind of feels very familiar as we get to the home stretch.
I was thinking just last night how it's felt like an instant and it's felt like so long since we were all at the press conference.
Right.
And now here we are. It's all come down to the last 3 days, and as it does every single year, things are getting especially spicy into our final day of league matches.
And we'll go over these matches in just a second, but Chase, a word to you. I thought your tournament was outstanding. Victories over the Great Okan and Tomohiro Ishii. People still buzzing about that. Give me your thoughts, your feelings about your performance overall in your second G1.
Yeah, the record doesn't look too good, but like you said, I beat Tomohiro Ishii, and not only did I beat Ishii, I played his style of match, Kevin. I beat Ishii at an Ishii match.
Yeah, in a semifinal in Osaka. That's a big spot.
It's his town.
And
Right.
we didn't, and also to settle any controversy, you said it, I've said it, your foot was not under the rope.
Yeah, we went back, watched the tape. When the referee called it, foot wasn't on the rope.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain. You know why? Because I'm a man. I can take a loss.
And you didn't tap out.
Didn't tap out.
It was a referee stoppage when he fell to Sonata. So Chase's tournament's in the books, and some of the field has completed their journey, but that doesn't mean that they're out of things, because tonight, boy, there's a lot on the line. And we begin and we go in order of descending order, I guess it would be, from D to A. We start with the 2 D block matches. Will Ospreay, first out of the chute versus Juice Robinson. This is going to be very, very personal after what Juice did the other night.
Dropped Will Ospreay with a pile driver on the concrete floor and took back his IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship belt. So I've got to believe that's a strategic play, not in terms of doing damage to Ospreay, but in terms of the mental factor here. Taking away that belt, making sure that Ospreay is seeing red and prone to a mistake so that Operation Chaos continues.
Yeah, this obviously was the reason why you couldn't be with me on commentary on Sunday. He was confirmed, and then all of a sudden, oh, Kevin, I can't make it. Okay, let me see if I can get Jonah. Then Jonah's in, and then you and Mola Bullet Club is hollering at me in the locker room as I'm trying to get back out to ringside.
Kevin, you have to have a plan in these situations, okay? And why do you go from me to Jonah?
Well, because I was appreciative of Jonah, and I've been appreciative of every guest that we've had all tournament long. They've been outstanding. So we'll see what happens in the D block, very personal. Then we go to Shingo Takagi, El Phantasmo. I don't even need to bother asking you who you think is going to win. But this is one matchup that really intrigues me. I said all of these matches could be in different order and could potentially be a main event anywhere. Shingo versus El Phantasmo, could you imagine this in a Los Angeles or Chicago or New York? It'd be a definite main event sellout.
100%. Any venue in the country, this could be a main event spot. Shingo Takagi, jibing at El Phantasmo, saying, hey, you're not in these fights to win it, you're in it to show off. And Phantasmo has been proving people wrong left and right all the way through this tournament. He definitely wants to beat Shingo, and he needs to beat Shingo to stay alive. But if Shingo wins, we're done in D block. Shingo goes through.
Because Shingo holds the tiebreaker over Will Ospreay. As complicated as that block could be, it could come simply down to Shingo's victory gives him the block. Then we move to C block. Hiroki Goto versus Evil. If Evil were not in House of Torture with all the shenanigans and all the hijinks, this would be a great matchup of two powerhouses. But as it is, I'm sure you know, and you could readily admit here, there'll be tons of interference from the House of Torture members. Dick Togo, Sho, probably Yujiro.
Interference?
Oh, please. So obviously Goto,
Don't interfere.
his block is he's still alive, but not really, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, his best shot is if he wins and then Naito wins. That way we've got a three-way tie and each person has beaten the other. It's like rock, paper, scissors.
Yes.
In that event, we will then go into a play-in match tomorrow. So Goto's journey is looking very long to make it to the Final Four.
We'll see what happens there. Those are that's the first C block match. Then Tetsuya Naito versus Zack Sabre Jr. This is a bona fide main event match, and it's middle through the card.
I've got Naito. He's made me a lot of money this tour, Kevin.
You've been selling his merchandise out the back door, and that's quite illegal.
It's not illegal.
It's not your possession. It's not your property.
9/10.
All right, obviously we go back here. We're in the scene of the crime, as it were. It left women crying when ZSJ hit the Zack driver. 1, 2, 3, Naito eliminated, and we got almost the same situation here tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't the first time either. You know, I mean, they're 4-4 on Naito and Zack, but it seems that when it comes to the big spots, New Japan Cup first round 18, G1 last night in 2018, and then of course the first night the G1 last year, New Japan Cup this year.
Yep.
That's when Zack pulls out the top drawer performances, the top drawer deckers, if you will. And you know, me being British, I've got to say the G1 Climax coming home.
Oh,
Coming home, boys.
That's usually the fatal blow of jinx when a
Just jinxed him.
when a
Oh.
UK citizen says it's coming home,
I'm gonna find Zack
because it
and
never
bring
does.
Chris Christie.
Ishii, Sonata, you face both guys in this tournament. Do you get the sense, Chris and I talked about this a little bit, this could be Ishii's last G1 Climax tournament?
I think so. He's been what? Last 10 something like
Yeah.
that? 11? Yeah, you know, and if you see him, he's always wrapped up and injured, and you know, I don't think he can take much more of these big pressure matches.
And we'll see what happens. I'm sure if that were to be the case, and this is just speculation on our part, obviously he would love to go out with a victory. Neither Sonata out, Ishii out, but obviously these two bring the best out of one another.
Yeah, and Ishii said backstage in Nagano, well, we're both feeling a lot of frustration right now, and then the ring is the place to let all of that out. So we'll see what happens in what's going to be, I think, a decisive match for both of these guys when it comes to the rest of this year and then going into next year.
These matches do have a tendency to have a role in what is to come in the rest of the year. And speaking of the rest of the year, and speaking of the UK, as we just were a little bit ago, you have some intel.
I got the inside track. Speaking of coming home,
Talk to me.
well, New Japan, we've already said New Japan Pro Wrestling is heading to the UK in October.
Right.
And we say, well, maybe early October.
People have been asking me, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. But you apparently have some
Yeah.
scoop.
If this is going up as you're seeing this probably very soon, and people in the UK just waking up right now, you want to follow at NJPW Global on Twitter, NJPW1972.com, right about 9 a.m. British summertime. We'll
For
have something for you.
For some information, scoops.
We're going questing, Kevin.
Scoops.
Stooge has the scoop?
No, his name is Chris, not Stooge. How dare you?
Okay, sorry.
And again, we can leave you out of the conversation of this next match in B block. It really just comes down to this. Tama Tonga with 1 defeat. Switchblade Jay White unbeaten. Jay needs a victory or a time limit draw, or a draw of any kind. Tama needs to beat him outright, needs to get the 2 points. This is the biggest match of Tama Tonga's career.
Yeah, perhaps so, and that says a lot, you know, coming from the fact that he beat Kazuchika Okada last year in a big spot, and that he went on to challenge Okada at Power Struggle last year. But as we said, you know, and as I said at Machida, if anyone can do it, Tama can. I'm just not thinking, you know, and even if it plays into Chase's hands here, I'm not thinking that he will. And you know, Jay White being perfect all the way through this tournament, and especially the statement he made back in Nagano, it's going to be a very long hill to climb.
It will be.
Tom is a great competitor.
Yes.
He's in great shape.
Yes.
He's definitely prepared for this moment. You know what's going to get him? His emotions.
We've been saying that the whole time. And we've been saying that he needs to keep his head clear. And we saw that with the tournament opener. He kept his emotions in check, and he has all the way through. But Jay White attacking him the other night, and whacking him time and time again with the chair. We'll see how Tama handles the pressure. Jonah versus Bad Luck Fale. Now we move to the big boys in the A block. Oh my God. Jonah is still, by my estimation, still technically alive. I can make the case.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, when you were sat with Jonah in Nagano and the results went down, I sent you a text right at ringside. I was on home team. And I said, Jonah's out. And I have to appreciate your restraint in not telling a 300 and something pound man who's very angrily sitting to your left. Oh, by the way, Jonah, you might be out, mate. But yeah, Jonah must beat Bad Luck Fale and hope that Okada and Lance Archer gets thrown out. And it's a double DQ, a no contest in the main event in the Budokan. So, I think we have to say realistically, Jonah is out. He's angry, and he's going to make a big statement at Bad Luck Fale's expense.
The only man in the tournament who has yet to be pinned or submitted. It was something we said about Bad Luck Fale a few years ago. Of course, Fale had lost several because of disqualification, but Jonah has only been counted out twice, and he's just been an epic force in the monster-filled A block. The main event tonight.
Match with Okada, incredible.
Absolutely. And speaking of Okada, that's our main event tonight. Kazuchika Okada versus Lance Archer. I'll go to you first, and I know Chase has some insight on this as well. Okada, of course, coming in similar to the B block scenario. Okada, win, draw, he's through. Archer needs to beat Okada outright to win the block. What say you?
I think obviously Archer has been, every time he goes out, he shows how highly motivated he is. He has done it all the way through the tournament. But Kazuchika Okada is Kazuchika Okada, man, and he's on the cusp of getting that fourth G1 if he wins this year. That's one closer to Masahiro Chono. I mean, in this spot, in the main event, in the Budokan, come on, you got to go Okada.
Give me some thoughts about what Lance Archer is, you two Texans, and obviously Lance as a competitor, as a man, and what he's going to bring today. Does he have what it takes to beat Okada in this spot?
Chris said it. It's Okada. He's super calm in these big pressure moments. But I seen Lance walking the streets last night, and he was, treating people like the young lions.
He's fired
up. It's a big moment. Budokan, Kazuchika Okada.
Big spot.
3 years. He hasn't been in a New Japan ring.
Yeah.
G1 main event. I'm gonna have to go with Lance tonight. Nothing against Okada.
It would be an earth-shattering decision in our main event tonight and would propel Lance Archer to his first block final. So tonight we'll settle potentially who the block winners are. D block, of course, will settle itself right away. Our first two matches tonight. And then we'll have all the coverage of the entire night, plus tomorrow, semifinals, plus Thursday final. British folks, 9 a.m. local time. Very important news, says Chris. Okay, so the three of us will be ringside in just a bit. For Chase Owens, Chris Charlton, I'm Kevin Kelly. See you at ringside, njpwworld.com.